You're all doing well. Thank you for joining our live session today with the initiation from the Ministry of Happiness. Today's session is about embracing the beauty of change and recognizing all that we can do collectively as a nation and on a global front in order to combat the crisis that we are all experiencing. I hope that at any point, if there's anything that you would like to share, whether the Right, so back on. Thank you for that. I'm sorry, but I think I forgot to put in the title. So here it is, Embracing the Beauty of Change. We're all in this together. And I've been also asked to pin, so we are currently doing that. Okay, so back to where we started. If at any point there's anything that you'd like to share, your thoughts or your emotions, please do so, and let's all collectively address them together. To begin with, let's talk about change. Historically, life has taught us so many stories. Those stories, whether they were stories of happy moments, sad moments, it was a full range. And when I say range, I talk about the emotional range that we as human beings experience, because that's just how we are designed. And so therefore, if we take a moment to think about it, this isn't the first time that we experience a pandemic. There have been many reported ones previously. The only difference is the measures, the precautionary measures, the outstanding ones that have been taken by governments in order to prevent the further spread and the numbers of cases, which is very new to us. Why? Let's take a moment to reflect. We have reached a point in our lives, especially our generation, where we have been so accustomed to routine. Everything has become strategized. Everything has become by the second, by the millisecond. We forgot to leave any room for change, while ironically, change, if anything, is the one constant in life that we can all agree that is bound to happen. But yet still, we forgot to include it in our schedules. And that's why, when all of this has dawned upon us, we paused, we became scared, we became very unaccustomed to the unknown because everything's become known to us. And the challenge collectively on a global scale that we are experiencing is exactly that. Whether the anxiety or the fear, the sadness, is all simply due to us not being prepared for that one constant in life. So, what is change? Again, it's bound to happen. Why does it happen? Because, as we can see, the environment that surrounds us as human beings is constantly changing. And as this environment changes, unless we adapt to these changes, we would never be able to move forward as mankind. And so therefore, we adjust. And the interesting part is that our bodies are so marvelously networked and neurologically designed that allow for this very quick adaptation, which is why we come out of it, if anything, much stronger. Let's take a moment and look at the older generations, bless them, our grandfathers or our great-grandfathers. I myself, the other day, while driving, going out for getting groceries, I was about to park in front of Carrefour, I see this old man also walking down, holding his mask, wearing it, but the difference was that he was holding his head up high. He looked very graceful, in comparison to somebody who was of a much younger age, walking down with their head very hanging low. Very sad, very disappointed. Why has this older man walked with his head so high up? because simple, they've been through worse. And so, as the old saying has it, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that was exactly the example that this old man portrayed. Bless him, not just him, and all our forefathers. So why don't we learn from their stories? Because, again, it's normal. What we are all experiencing from anxiety and fear of the unknown is normal. But we need to take a moment to recognize that it is normal. Change is the one constant in life, and we are all experiencing it. But the beauty of it this time is that we are all experiencing it collectively. I think the irony in all this experience is that it's called social distancing, while for the first time humanity has all united. For the first time people are in their homes enjoying their children, their husbands, their grandparents, their families. They're just enjoying their homes. Let's take a moment and recognize where the change has happened. So if I'm going to use myself as an example, as any other citizen who's a working citizen, every day we become accustomed to waking up at the same time, getting changed, doing the same morning routines, having our breakfast, and definitely not the Friday breakfasts that we're used to. It's a very quick one, and then heading off to work. Now, the challenge of the traffic, the challenge of the drop-offs, the challenge of getting fined, many challenges. In a nutshell, your morning routine is pretty much the most stressful routine ever. And by the time you've landed work, you think for a moment, if only I could work from home. Now, interestingly enough, here we are, all of us have been sent home, and yet the minute that happened, we resisted it. It's very normal to resist because we're creatures of habit, but then the abnormal becomes if we resist it for too long. And that's where it starts to affect our state of mind. And if your state of mind is not on a happy pedestal, then your body won't either. And your immune system will start to go down. And if that happens, then you become susceptible to disease, any form of disease. So rule number 1, part of staying safe is maintaining your healthy state of mind. And as we're going to discuss today, what are the things that we can do in order to maintain a healthy state of mind and keep it positive? You may think that, oh no, here I am, I have to carry these things out and start practicing them. While the good news is, you are embedded with them. You are designed to be happy and optimistic. When we look at science and the marvel of research, the neuroimaging that we have today is so outstanding, whereby we can actually see that our brains are designed to be positive. We are born with that positivity. Take a moment to think about the first thought that comes to mind in light of crisis. Do you tell yourself, oh, this is just gonna get worse? No, all of us across the world are wishing and hoping for the best and are all anticipating only good and nothing but that, because that goes to show how our brains are wired positively. Therefore, our areas, our brain regions that allow for that positivity only need a small touch from you, only need you to continue to remind them of all good that surrounds us. So for example, let me teach you a trick. There's something that we call facial feedback. Now, as I'm talking to you, I can be talking sad, as I tell my kids, like Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh, or I can put on a huge smile. Now, automatically, as I have smiled, your muscles within your face are so intricate that they have sent messages to my brain, and this is what we call facial feedback, to tell my brain that I'm in a happy state. My brain, in turn, starts to release hormones to create a happy vessel. Of course, this is only one of many other things that your body is continuously trying to carry out in order to maintain your happy state. So, back to what our first question was. What is change? Change is the one constant in life. Is it bound to happen? Absolutely. Why does it happen? because the environment around us changes and we as human beings must adapt. And so embracing that change is the only option we're left with. Let's take a moment to reflect on what are the things other than our morning daily routines that have changed in our life. I'm sure a shout out to all the moms with the online schooling, and to be honest, it's not just the moms, of course it's the fathers, and more importantly, it's our beloved students. I personally would like to applaud and congratulate all the students who overnight have become accustomed to this dramatic change in education, while they're doing an amazing job keeping up their stamina. And as my kids are watching this, they laugh because just yesterday I said, well, we're gonna have to apply a new rule. 1 day uniform, 1 day without. And they wondered, why are you doing this to us? And I said, because psychologically, you feel good, you do good. Maintaining that routine is so important for us all. Waking up early, having a solid breakfast, carrying out your daily duties, setting motives and targets. Again, if we lose scope of that, things will start to fall apart. And that's why, no joke, you need to wake up, get dressed, and sit behind that desk of yours just as if you're going to your office, because automatically your brain starts to go into work mode and productivity. Secondly, making sure that you embrace all the gratitude that we are going through. Being grateful for all your safety and basic needs being met. As you regard those, as you consider them, you slowly go up the hierarchy of needs. You slowly start to recognize what it is that you have to be grateful for, and the love starts to come, and you become self-actualized. When talking to people through this crisis, many have discovered so many things that they didn't know that they were capable of. I'm sure there are many ovens at home burning food inside, but hey, it's only gonna go up from here. So burn as much as you want, but the recipe's gonna come through at one point. Many have discovered that they enjoy being within the frame of their house and that they are highly capable of multitasking. So whether it's baking, whether it's gardening, whether it's exercising, as in going up and down your stairs or jumping on a trampoline to get your workout, or just even following a routine on Zoom sessions. None of us knew that we had it in us, but with time we all discovered that we did. Reflect on yourself when this crisis all started. Look at what we were at the beginning and where we are now. We're getting comfortable. We have that inner peace because we're slowly adjusting to the situation. We're slowly starting to recognize to make the best out of it all. And again, with all the hints that we're getting from people universally, sharing their stories, sending out the love, this is where we are all united, because the strength is in our unionship. So the change is bound. And why it happens? Because we adjust, because this is who we are. Natural selection, survival of the fittest, theory of evolution. Science has spoken of it over and over again. So we are intricately wired to adapt to all of this. When we look at the coping strategies, there is a field which we refer to as psychoneuroimmunology. When your state of mind is healthy, so is your immune system, and therefore it's capable of battling all. Being grateful, giving thankfulness to everything that you have is important in order to enhance your state of mind. So look around you again and recognize everything good going for you. Learn a new skill, whether it's a new language or a new instrument or anything that you may have going around the house. I'll tell you something. I've chosen to call this home therapy. We're all in our houses, and you know what? It is very therapeutic. Many people have said, I've gone into my closets and I've brought it all out. Whether they've redesigned their clothes, whether they've decided to give some to charity, whether they've decided to discover their painting skills on their jeans, many things have come out of that. I personally like to do jewelry, and it's very therapeutic while you sit down and you create small necklaces with my children and you put the beads through. And also, when it comes to other challenges within the house that you could go for, play with your kids, play cards, play board games, have a family moment. We have moved so far away from uniting because of how busy our lives are. And that's why the world has allowed us to press that reset button. So the irony is, this is not social distancing. This is social unionship at its best, and only good can come out of this. And if you think and ask for life to go back to what it was like, life will never go back to what it was like. Because again, we have adapted, we have learned, we have changed, which is the purpose of all this experience. And you need to come out a different person with different values, with different things that you have sat in silence in your home space, therapeutically self-reflecting on. Other things that you can do, meditating. So when I say meditation, I'm not talking about anything complex. There are outstanding complexities, and yes, maybe you need to take up a meditation session or a course. Maybe that's something that you may discover yourself in. When I say meditation, I'm talking about just breathing techniques. And you'll be surprised how much we do not breathe accurately, correctly. Let me tell you something about the power of breathing. Oxygen is that gas that we need to survive. Without it, all the reactions in your body are not complete. And so if you don't breathe correctly, you leave those reactions to not complete correctly. And that's what opens door to disease. So, as somebody just pointed out, have time for Quran and you will feel happy. Yes, absolutely. That is a form of meditation. And it's not just the Quran. It's anything that you feel will bring you that peace. Again, it's all about having some time to breathe in and breathe out, and you'll see wonders come out. My best friend just keyed in, totally agree with the breathing meditation and yoga. So she's definitely the one that you may want to link with if you are looking out for those sessions. Other things that you can carry out, exercise. Exercise in all its forms. Dancing is a phenomenal strategy. It makes you happy, it lets out those calories, and a colleague of mine, actually, she's dancing up and down the stairs. So maybe you should try that. And finally, sleep. And I'm sure my kids are probably going to key in something on their Instas now because they always laugh about me when I call it out for bedtime, and I'm sure all the moms feel my pain. Bedtime's always that, oh no. But sleep. Sleep is so important. You need your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, which will allow for your systems to reboot, for your systems to clear out all toxins and start on a fresh day. So today, as you say goodbye to a day, a beautiful day, recognize the beauty in it, reflect on it, recognize what you have achieved, what those targets were met, whether they were met, and if not, it's not a problem. Tomorrow is a brand new day. You can always reach out for them. But word of advice, as you set your targets and motives, make sure that they're achievable, because if they're not, then you're more challenged and you feel frustrated and it defeats the purpose. So your targets have to be achievable in order for them to motivate you and for you to feel that you have that internal self-control. One of the things that happens in life when we start to feel stressed is us feeling that we have lost control of it all. What we are experiencing now is fear of the unknown. We fear the lack of control. And that's because we are all waiting for things to be back in how they were, for us to be in control of everything, which is wrong because control comes from within. People with high self-efficacy and high self-esteem are those who show an internal self-control, are those who don't rely on external factors for their control. And so therefore, again, as somebody just sent in, what if you can't sleep because you keep thinking and worrying about the future? Well, simple. don't think of the future. All you have and are capable of controlling is the present moment. You have no control over your past or your future. So that's why reflect on the present moment. That's the only thing that you can have control over. Set yourself targets through a logbook. Again, if you have things documented, it helps to create feedback in order to allow for you to reflect and recognize what it is that you're going through. So optimism is key. Hope is key. Faith is key. All of those elements, if you want to think about them, are cousins, and they all work together, marvels. And keeping that in mind allows for what we call self-fulfilling prophecy. You are the only person capable of maintaining your happiness. By sending in thoughts to your mind on happiness and staying away from any negativity, that's what will allow you to embrace and recognize the happiness within you. Because as we said, you're biologically wired happy. You're born happy. So just keep reminding yourself of that. When it comes to any challenge in life, again, recognize what tools you have that can enable you to go through this challenging time. I'll give you an example. Somebody's talking about their previous relationships and how they can overcome them and why they keep thinking of them. So they feel that they can't stop thinking. Well, here's a bit of advice. There's a reason why that relationship has ended. You need to come to peace with that. Whether it's you recognizing where the issues were in that relationship, or you are reflecting on any self-development, that needs to be recognized. Keep your thought process on that as opposed to why that relationship has ended. Because worrying over the problem is not going to solve anything. As part of your problem solving, you could either deal with it emotionally or problem focused. So you can tackle both within the scope of the issue and, again, recognize what was going on in that relationship and how you can go about to change it, whether you want it to continue or to go back to that person, or maybe through it all you'll realize that there was a reason why it ended, and it's always for a good cause. I have somebody saying, I have so many concerns about my college performance and I'm worried about the GPA these days, I cannot sleep well. A little bit of advice, and I share this with all my students because we're approaching finals. Stress is a good thing. Healthy forms of stress are good for us. The worry that we feel is what we use as our driving force, so long as it doesn't overstay. So it lasts for a little while, gets us through those finals, that adrenaline pumping within our system, but beyond that, no. So the best advice is, during these times, is not to worry. Create a schedule, structure your lectures. I'm sure by now you have it all under your wing because you've had tests, you've been assessed, you know the style of questions, and so therefore the best thing you can do is to self-care. Make sure that you stay away from the caffeine because that's only going to make it worse. And why I say caffeine, I know a lot of my students fall guilty of this. They think that green tea does not have caffeine. And so it has a lot of caffeine. So make sure no coffee, no green tea. I know that it's challenging for some students with Ramadan coming up with their first week of finals. Again, make sure that you hydrate a lot, nothing less than 3 liters and above. Make sure that your sleep patterns don't start going out the window because that's always the first thing that happens to people during Ramadan. Maintain the same routine. And most importantly, self-fulfilling prophecy. Recognize that you will succeed so that you do succeed. Remember, you are your powerful strength. You are the only tool that can get yourself through times of crisis. You are the person who can provide strength and endurance and resilience because that's how we are all designed. So nobody can help you but yourself. Maintain healthy eating habits, maintain healthy sleep habits, maintain healthy lifestyle habits. All of those will help for you to get through this. No coffee for sure. Yes, I advise against a lot of coffee. The maximum you can have is probably 2 to 3 tops per day, but even that might be a bit too much depending on the coffee you're taking. Okay, so somebody's asking me about job hunting. I feel like in this age of life, I've failed as I have not. I'm trying to read because I have something holding up my phone. Right. You are not a failure. Don't regard yourself as a failure. There's a reason why you haven't nailed that job yet, because everything happens in good time. You need to believe in that, and only good will come about. But at the same time, reflect. Go back to looking at your CV. Look at what the changes that can happen to it could be. Get advice from friends. We're all being united at these times. So maybe there's somebody out there, a specialist that can help you refurbish your CV. And maybe you're sending it through the wrong channels. Connect with people. So as my daughter says very nicely, thank you for those, acceptance and faith. Absolutely. Accept that it's not the right time, and recognize that by having the faith inside you, you will definitely reach out to everything that you call from this world. Thank you, Mariuma, for your kind words. It's very kind of you. So what are the other things that we can do in order to cope and embrace happiness and stay happy with everything that we're going through? How about we listen to some things that people are doing within their houses? I've definitely shared some of mine. I've done the excessive baking, the jewelry making, the redesigning, the emptying of the closets, the playing the cards, the jumping on the trampolines. I've done it all. And so how about you guys share some of the things that are happening on a national front, and we can all discuss them together. Let's see, somebody's sending out. Introspection, any tips? I'm trying to read it there. Okay, my kids are probably thinking, wow, this is mom's all new to this, and for those of you who know me, I much prefer actual social interaction. I love being around people, and hopefully, inshallah, soon we will all be united together. So remember, happiness is built within. Happiness is something that we create for ourselves. Somebody just sent in saying, I don't have much friends, and I would like to be connected. And my advice is, being connected is not through social media. Being connected is through actual social interaction. And so try to not think of connections as social media. Think of them as more social interaction, whereby you are, again, in contact with people. So try to go for that, and maybe that will help. I'm just trying to keep up with all the comments that are coming in so that I don't miss anyone. Somebody said that they started coloring, which is outstanding. That in itself is a great technique. And of course the baking, nothing takes away from the smell of freshly baked cupcakes in the ovens. Those are always phenomenal. And, again, it's making the best of what you have. Every household's different. Every household has different tools. Pray a lot. Pray for everyone going through this crisis. Pray for those loved ones who we have lost. Pray for us to get through this crisis. Pray for this world to be a better place. My husband this morning said, what is the intention that we're going to start Ramadan with? And I said, does it have to be a personal one? How about we create a collective one? Which the only thing that came to mind were the words of heal the world, make it a better place. And so again, we are all in this together, and we have all had different challenges going through it together. Certainly all of us being at home and all of us being online, listening to the jokes that everyone's experiencing is quite funny. Listen to the jokes and laugh at them. It doesn't have to be that you focus on the negativity. Again, the positivity, reaching out for it, is so important. Somebody just cued in, having more self-time, absolutely, self-reflection. And through faith and self-reflection comes a lot of good. Science and research have shown that people of faith and people who embrace that truly, genuinely, spiritually, are those where lifespan longevity have been reflected by almost a decade. So yes, again, during these tough times, let us all unite and let us all remember the tools on how to stay happy. Sorry, I think that the internet connection disconnected. So I'm logged back in again. It's logged out. Yep, great. Okay, we're back on. Super. So, again, why does change happen? Change happens because it's that one constant in life. Why do we resist it? Because we are creatures of habit and routine and consistency. And finally, of course, most importantly, not taking away from the biology. Our biological setup is designed to adapt to change. And as much as we do resist it, we are still going to be adapters because we are creatures of adaptation. And as we adapt, we discover so much about ourselves. And the best thing about the experience we're all going through is that collective stress, that collective unionship. Remember that stress is good for us in healthy doses. It's that fight or flight response. Our body's designed to, again, embrace it and use it as a source, as a motivation, as a driving force. And finally, when it comes to tips on how to stay happy, don't think of the past. Don't think of the future. Think of the present moment. Somebody just asked how to get closer to my parents and relatives. Well, recognize that they're there. That's where it all begins. First, recognizing that they mean so much to you. And doing things collectively together, which is why I'm saying this is a golden opportunity that has been given to all of us to carry that out. Because unfortunately, amidst the very changing fast times that we are all experiencing, we have lost touch with that. And a lot of people will say, it's beautiful reconnecting. It's beautiful being at home. It's beautiful watching my kids do their schoolwork or their activities. So that's why, thank you very much for all your very sweet comments. I'm trying to keep up with them. Again, this is my first run, and it's wonderful to see that everyone is so interactive. On the tips of happiness, always remember, be thankful, be grateful. Make sure that you, again, learn, keep learning. We continue to learn till the last day of our lives. Meditate, breathe in, breathe out, and exercise. When you exercise, you release your healthy hormones, your neurotransmitters, your endorphins, your natural opioids. All of those create a happier vessel. So it's not by any coincidence that once you're done with your workout, you've got a huge smile on your face. In sleep, we are designed to be creatures that respond to the rising sun and to the sunset. Our brains wake up with the rising sun, and our brains decide to set with the sunset. So make sure to maintain your healthy sleep hours, your routine, your desk space. Shower, get dressed, just as if you're gonna step out of your house. My kids always ask me, Mom, are you going out somewhere? And I always respond by saying, no, remember. And this wasn't something that I've created. This is something that, bless her, my mom and her mom, and it's the generations before that all have taught us this. Make sure that you dress well, feel well, not for anyone, but yourself. When it comes to mind techniques, somebody's asking. I love you, Razan, too. Thank you so much for your motivation. And thank you for my son also and how he's motivating. He's been the tech savvy in all of this, telling me what to do. He's the one who told me you need to just talk. And I said, okay. He said, this is not one of the lectures. And I said, okay. So when it comes to mind techniques, for sure, when you recognize, again, focusing on happy moments, whether they're happy memories or you creating a happy image for yourself, that certainly has been proven to help a lot in your state of well-being. And that's a bit really what meditation is all about. So when it comes with its different techniques, some people will meditate on that. So keep a happy image in mind. All of us, for sure, going back into our lives will be very different, and we would have learned a lot of new reactions to situations. Our reflection on life will be very, very different. I love you too, Riyadh. Thank you so much. When change becomes a fact, we have to accept it. Very, very wise and very well said words. Somebody's asking about addictions, pregabalin addictions. Of course, when it comes to certain medications, depending on the dose that you are experiencing, and if this was a prescribed dose, the only recommendation would be that you need to follow up with your doctor, and the doctor will help to slowly wean you off that medication in order for you to not abruptly stop the drug. So therefore, please seek assistance with your medical profession so that they can help you go through this. And on that topic, can I please ask that we salute collectively all our frontline helpers, everyone in this world united who is taking care of our loved ones, who is providing for all of those who are unfortunate with the coronavirus or who have contracted the virus, or who have loved ones with the virus. Can I please share a word of happiness on this? Unfortunately, yes, there have been many loved ones who have passed away in this crisis, but at the same time, we need to maintain the positive outlook, where there have been many that have survived and have come out of this stronger and healthier and happier because they've learned many life lessons. Please keep reminding yourself, in order for you to maintain a heightened immune system, your best strategy, your best tool is to stay in a happy state of mind. And this is not to say that we won't go through our moments where we are anxious, where we are angry, where we are experiencing mood changes. It is very normal. But recognizing the normality is what I am asking you all to do. Not denying yourself these emotions is what I'm asking you all to do. Feeling that you are frustrated and voicing it out is normal. Recognizing how you can go about it and not sulk in the frustration is the way to go. So if you do feel that moment, start breathing. Start reminding yourself of happy thoughts. Grab a bit of chocolate. It's definitely going to help, especially the 70% dark chocolate, which again, we all must be accustomed to the milk one, but the 70% one's also healthy and it's much healthier. Grab yourself a cup of herbal tea, chamomile. All of those will help to calm you down. Mint tea. Breathe in, breathe out. This too will end. Remember, this is not the first pandemic. The only difference is governments have learned from previous historical pandemics and have taken outstanding measures to prevent its further aggressive spread. And so what we are going through now is something that we are very lucky to be experiencing. So please, just stay safe, stay home, follow the guidelines, enjoy the moment. This doesn't come too often, and trust me when I tell you, a bit like our parents used to always tell us, once you're done with school, you're always going to reflect back and see what great days those were. And so yes, once we're done with Corona, we're always going to reflect back and recognize how much greatness came out of the quarantine and how we all got a chance to socially unite, whether within our homes through home therapy or on a national front as we're doing now, or more so on a global front, united. Thank you for all the patience that you are all experiencing. Thank you for all the front help, for the frontline helpers and all the support that they are providing. Thank you for all the educators. Thank you for all the mothers, the fathers, the children, the grandparents. Thank you for everyone who is assisting, whether in the supermarkets, the gas stations. Thank you for everyone who goes out. Give thankfulness. Take a moment to sit back and reflect on who you would like to give gratitude out to. Thank your neighbors, thank your friends, connect with them, ask about them, send happy thoughts, share the positivity, and maintain the positive outlook. So I think I'm trying to answer as many questions as they're coming through. Is there anything? Thank you, Miss Alice. Thank you, my little one's daycare teacher. She is magnificent. Thank you for all the support that you've been showing. Thank you so much for all your motivational statements that you're putting through. Thank you to all my students. This has been a lovely opportunity, and I hope that all of us united can, again, make this world a better place. God bless you all, and I wish you all health, prosperity, peace, safety in light of the holy month that is approaching us. May all the prayers going out there help support everyone. And remember that this too shall pass. You are yourself. Embrace it, love it, stay strong, and let us all stay in unionship, united through this crisis. God bless you. Thank you. Stay safe.